السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا، وأنت ما شئت تجعل الحزن سهلا. اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من أن نشرك بك شيئا نعلمه ونستغفرك لما لا نعلمه. ثم أما بعد. Continue inshallah today the Tafseer of Surah al-Baqara. We started with the first three ayat. هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون. So, four ayat in the beginning of Surah al-Baqarah talked about the believers and their qualities. And then two ayat will talk about the disbelievers, and 13 ayat will talk about the munafiqeen or the hypocrites. هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب. الذين يؤمنون بالغيب. يؤمنون الإيمان. What's الإيمان? الإيمان means التصديق. وما أنت بمؤمن لنا ولو كنا صادقين. يؤمن بالله ويؤمن بالمؤمنين. الإيمان, some ulama say الإيمان is قول وعمل. إقرار بالقلب وعمل بالجوارح، وإقرار باللسان وعمل بالجوارح، ويقين في القلب. So اعتقاد وقول وعمل. اعتقاد وقول وعمل. الإنسان يعتقد, then he declares his iman, and then followed by do's and don'ts, or following the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this actually led to a big theological question in Islam. What is an iman? Is an iman just belief without practice, or it could be belief and practice? Or must it be believe and practice? We know that some people believe and they don't practice, right? Do you know some who believe but they don't practice? And do you know that some practice but they don't believe? Have you seen anything like this? Yeah, there are some actually practice but they don't believe. I've been surprised when I heard the term atheist Jew. So it doesn't work. Either atheist or a Jew. How could be a Jew and atheist at the same time? But there are plenty of atheist Jews. And unfortunately, there are some agnostic Muslims who come to the masjid, who come to Islamic wedding, come for Eid, because this is where the whole family is. Right? So it's like part of social practice. They practice what they do. They come for Eid, not mainly to pray, but they just come to see everybody and have fun. Same thing in other religious traditions. I've seen so many Jews who don't believe in Allah, but they come in this religious occasion because simply everybody is there, attend Jewish weddings, and so on. So there are some who believe but they don't practice, and some practice but they don't believe. And one day, this Muslim man called me and he came to me and he said, "I want you to conduct the Islamic nikah." I said, "Okay, fine. Do you have a marriage license?" He said, "Yes, I have a marriage license, everything." So, and his wife is Christian. So I said, in this case, I highly recommend having premarital counseling. So it's free service. But because you're coming from two different backgrounds, then it is always good to have premarital counseling. The Imam will talk about the rights and responsibilities and expectations. He said, no, we don't need this. Okay, so that was a surprise to me. So I asked why. Do you know everything about marriage in Islam? He said, no, I don't believe in anything. I'm doing this Islamic nikah because of my mom. I don't believe in it. He's Muslim, come from a Muslim family, and he said, I just want my mom to feel happy. she insists that we have to get married in the masjid and the imam and the Islamic nikah, but he and his wife do not believe in it. He said, our religion is too complex and I have no time to study. And I don't deny God, but I acknowledge that it exists and I don't believe in any religion. And then he talked about how he has been mistreated very badly and how many Muslims that he dealt with were awful, dishonest people, and this is what actually pushed him out of Islam. This is one of so many examples of people are agnostic. And it is very dangerous that sometimes our kids actually, they hide this from us, they don't tell their parents, but deep inside they don't believe in anything. And the society here actually encourages people to do that. In the name of freedom, in the name of independence, in the name of free thinking, and liberalism that liberates yourself from family, tradition, and custom, and religion, and don't allow anybody to believe what you do or what you believe. And there are those who believe but they don't practice. And there are so many, I don't have to give you examples. There are so many Muslims don't pray. They think of prayer as something that if you do, you're going to get extra points. If you don't, you're okay. Or those who know that doing something wrong, but they cannot stop themselves. They say, well, someone drinks and they say, no, I know it's haram, but I cannot quit. Or so many other things. Those who don't fast in Ramadan without having any valid excuse, those who never perform Hajj without having valid excuse. So they believe but they don't practice. I mean, this is the question that Muslim theologians discuss in depth. How about these people? Are they believers or not believers? How about those who commit major sins? So those who believe and don't practice, two opinions. One suggests that they are not believers because al-amal juz'un min al-iman. Al-amal wal iman, believe and practice are one thing, are inseparable. And this is obvious in the mas'ala of hukm tarik as-salah, the one who does not pray without having any excuse, just does not pray. Imam Ahmad and others said he's Catholic, he's not Muslim. And his wife has every right to go and divorce him because he's not Muslim. And he should not inherit his father Muslim or be inherited because he is not Muslim. And when he dies, no janazah prayer should be offered and he should not bury with Muslims. That's a huge, big Islamic school of thought. Al-Khawarij or Kharijites consider مرتكب الكبيرة كافر. If you commit a major sin like zina or drinking or killing, any of these major sins, then you are out of Islam automatically. That's why they consider everybody kafir except themselves. What? Even within the Sunni Muslims, the ulama have different opinions. Imam Shafi'i and others, they maintain that al-iman والعمل من الإيمان ولكنه الإيمان we cannot judge a person as a non-believer or non-Muslim if he is not practicing. We consider this person to be a fasiq, committing a sin, major sins, but he's still a believer. And it's up to Allah if Allah wants, He can punish him or He may forgive him. So he's still a believer who is committing a major sin. They call him fasiq, ra'asi, mudnim, but he's still Muslim, still a believer. And if you ask some of those who do not believe or do not fast or do not perform hajj or commit major sins, do you believe us? Of course I believe Allah. I love Islam. I'm Muslim. And he will get angry if someone insulted the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Most of those people who march in different places, maybe they don't pray. But when it comes to insulting the Prophet, everybody gets angry, right? So he's a believer. They believe in Allah, but they don't pray. So, and there was a debate between Imam Shafi'i and Imam Ahmad. Imam Ahmad was clear that because Rasulullah said that العهد الذي بيننا وبينهم الصلاة من تركها فقد كفر. It's clear. difference between us and them is salah. Whoever abandons the salah, then he's not, he's kafir. Right?
What about the hadith by Anas radiallahu anhu? Whoever say La ilaha illallah will enter Jannah.
Well, this is the argument of the other side. Right? So about this side, I'm just mentioning the argument of this side, and then we'll come to the argument of the other side. So this hadith and other hadith, فَمَنْ تَرَكَهَا فَقَدْ كَفَرَ. Whoever abandons salah, then he's kafir. Right? Imam Shafi'i and others, they believe, as I said, they are Muslims, are believers, but they are committing a major sin. So the debate was that Imam Shafi'i asked Imam Ahmad, if he's kafir, the one who doesn't pray, if he's kafir, what does he need to do to become a believer? He said, he should pray. He said, Imam Shafi'i said, prayers are not accepted from a kafir. So how would you ask a kafir to pray? Because kafir is required to come to Iman first, and then you ask him to pray and give zakat and so on. So Imam Ahmad said, well, then he should say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa anna Muhammad Rasulullah. And Shafi'i said, well, he said it. There's no problem with that. So it seems like Imam Shafi'i's footnote was stronger. And there's a very important, very extremely important value to this kind of understanding, which has to do with judging people as kafir, and this may lead to extreme and violent actions against them, as we have seen from some extreme Muslims. They try to find a reason to take you out of Islam, or out of Islam altogether. Right? And therefore, since he's kafir, then so many rules will be made out of this, as a result of this. The concept of takfir, excommunication, as they use this terminology in Christianity, when someone is out of the religion altogether. The concept of takfir starts with al-Khawarij, who consider everybody kafir except themselves and those who believe like them. And these groups of extreme Muslims called takfiriyin. Takfiriyin means, I've seen and debated some of them, and believe me, it's way beyond ignorance. It is insanity. It is insanity. They consider everybody to be kafir except those who believe what they believe. And the government is kafir because they are not applying Sharia. Those who work for the government are kafir, and everybody is kafir except those who believe what they believe. Okay, so, and therefore they can attack people and take their money and steal, basically, in the name of Islam. These people are kuffar, and therefore their wealth is halal. And we don't eat the meat of. I was the only one who was hafiz of Quran in college, and they consider me to be kafir. Okay, so because you go to school, college, and this means you support the government, because the government is kafir. Anybody who works, millions of Egyptians that work as employees for the government. And if you go to school or send your children to the government school, then you are kafir. Wallah, I heard this. If I didn't hear it myself, I would have believed it. And of course, these groups is like one cell bacteria. They keep divided. They are one thing, and then they disagree on one point. It's kafir and it's kafir. Then two groups will be created. Each of these two groups will disagree on something and become four groups. And these four groups become 8 groups. And if you think I'm exaggerating, wallah, I'm not. So, two brothers, blood brothers, they were in the same group of movement of takfiris, and they disagreed over those who build the school. So they are not sending their kids to school, but this is kufr, like Islam. But how about if you are working in a construction, right? And you got a project to build a building that will become a school. You are just constructor. You are doing your job, right? So they had disagreed over the hukm of the one who builds government, schools. And they divided into two groups. And this man was asking if my motorcycle was stolen. I went to the police to report this because they can bring, and they brought it back to me. I said, no, you are kafir because you sought help from the police, and the police is kafir, the government is kafir, and everybody is kafir. Then you are kafir. And he quoted ayat apparently. Quote, وَلَا تَرْكَنُوا إِلَى الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا فَتَمَسَّكُمُ النَّارُ. Don't incline to the ظالمين so that the wood out of context, obviously. So the point I want to make is that these extreme groups, they adapt this understanding that al-iman qarin al-amal. If believe and practice are one thing. Don't practice, this means you don't believe. One. But the majority of ulama is with the opinion that مرتكب الذنوب or the one who does not practice still, if he says La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, he's Muslim, hisabu ala Allah, Allah will take care of his hisab. So, and that is the opinion of the majority of Muslim theologians, that al-iman qawl wa amal, that's true, but if someone abandoned al-amal, then his hisab ala Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. الذين يؤمنون بالغيب. So those who believe in al-ghayb. What's al-ghayb? Al-ghayb is any and everything that you cannot touch or see or smell, anything that beyond our knowledge. Al-iman billah is another way. Al-iman bil angels, life after death, hell and heaven. We believe in all these things although they're right for us. I haven't seen Allah, I haven't seen angels, and so on. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was asked by Abu Ubaidah bin Jarrah. He said, Ya Rasulullah, is there anyone who is better than us? We believe in you and we follow you and we defended Islam. We did everything. Is there anyone who is better than us? He said, no, yes. Those who will come after you, who believe in me even though they have never seen me. A similar meaning, Mu'adh bin Jabal also asked the same question on a different occasion. Ya Rasulullah, is there anyone greater in the world than us? We have believed you and followed you. He said, why shouldn't you believe me? And the Prophet and myself is with you, and the revelation comes to me. It's expected for you to believe. But those who come after you will receive a book, that's the Quran. They believe in it or follow its guidance. They have more reward than you. They have more reward than you. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us among them. Because we believe in life. They saw the Prophet. Yes, they suffered more and they sacrificed more. But the Prophet was there. It's enough just to see the Prophet and to listen to the Quran coming out of the mouth. He's a living example. So, He sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that those who come after you will be more reward because they have not seen me. So Rasulullah for the Sahaba was not ghaib, it was shahada. But for us, ghaib. I haven't seen the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we believe in the Quran and in the teaching of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Iman bil-ghayb, الذين يؤمنون bil-ghayb. And the opposite of al-ghayb is shahada. Shahada means what you witness, what you can see, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alim al-ghayb wa shahada. To Allah there's no ghayb and shahada, He knows everything. For us there's ghayb and shahada. Ghayb is the thing that we have not seen, not experienced, right? And the shahada is what we witness, what we see. So Allah praised those who believe in al-ghayb. And this is how the belief system is built. If we saw Allah and saw heaven, that's not a belief anymore, it becomes a fact. That's why when they also ask for scientific evidence of all these things, we cannot provide scientific evidence on presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in hell and heaven. We cannot. Because if you can, then it's not a belief anymore. It becomes a fact. Right? When you see the sun on a sunny day, it's a fact. But we believe because we have seen the evidence. And we believe because these evidence are so clear to us. Creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, common sense, logic, nothing can exist out of nothing, and so on and so forth. So our iman should not just be an iman of imitation or blindly following, but we have also to think. And the more we think, the more we believe. الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة. الإيمان بالغيب إقامة الصلاة. إقامة الصلاة is not just performing salah, it is perfecting salah. يقيمون الصلاة. أقيموا الصلاة. أقيموا الصلاة means to pray on time and to perfect your wudu and to perfect the prerequisites of the salah and the ordinances of salah and the nawafil and so on. So salah, iqamat salah is to be prayed on time. You make sure that you are pure and tahir, and you come to the prayer with khushu' and you follow the arkan salah and sunnah salah, the nawafil, and Rasulullah taught us. And then you do the tasbih and tamjeed and takbir. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is iqamat salah. Not just performing salah, some like delay the salah to the very end of the time with a combined prayer without having a valid excuse, or just come in the evening and pray all 5 prayers, at one time. That's not iqamat salah. وَأَيْضًا الْمُصَلِّينَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ. Allah is talking about the hypocrites. They don't pay attention to salah. So for us as Muslims, we iqamat salah in all situations. Yes, in some situations, some cases, we are traveling or we are in an airplane. Some of these conditions are dropped, but salah itself must be performed. You are sick, then you can combine the prayer, you can sit down or lay in your bed, but you must think about how will you perform the next salah. Go for shopping, we travel, but we have to make an arrangement for salah. This is iqamat salah. أركانها وسننها ونوافلها. Inshallah, we can talk later on about all these arkan and nawafil of salah, inshallah. ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون. Salah and zakah are all often mentioned together. Salah, because salah is haqqullah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you don't pray, you are not harming anyone, right? You are not harming anyone. You are harming yourself. If you don't pray, Allah does not need your salah. But you need it. And zakah is the haqqullah and also haqq of the poor people, especially from your family or your community. Zakah, haqqullah and haqqul faqir, the right of the poor people. So these two pillars of Islam are mentioned often together. الذين يقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون. So مما رزقناهم ينفقون. Some ulama say the zakat. They give the zakat annual 2.5% of the extra money they save for one full year. So they give 2.5% if it reaches the nisab. Others said no, that's not limited only to zakat, but it's also related to those who spend generously when they see a need. They see someone in need of quality at 2.5%, but one of the relatives lost his job or got an accident, became disabled, they always give. Right? When they know someone died and there's no enough money to take care of the janazah, they give. When they receive guests, they spend to show generosity to their guests. So there's a big question in Islamic law when it comes to هل في المال حق غير الزكاة? Is it only zakat or is it some other حقوق in your money and the other حقوق in your money? As I mentioned, in some cases, your aunt or grandmother is dependent on you, then you have to take care of her. You have to. If your sister divorced or became a widow and she cannot work, then you have to, someone has to take care of her financially, and especially those who are closest to her. So there are so many other rights than 2.5% of zakat. ومما رزقناهم ينفقون في سبيل الله سبحانه وتعالى when there is a need. And infaq is something that goes against our human nature, because naturally we are stingy, we are bukhala, right? But it takes some effort for us to spend. It's not the other way around. And this is actually shown also in children. Children always like to have everything for themselves. Arabs used to say that he is more stingy than a child, because children are stingy. They like all tools and toys and stuff to be that's mine, and they cry when someone takes it away from them. So وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ. But the infaq are two kinds of infaq. There's infaq that has spiritual dimension, and another has legal dimension. Here in America, we have this example of paying taxes, but we also pay zakat. Taxes, we have to pay taxes because this is the law of the land. What we give zakat because this is the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and there's a spiritual dimension. We do it fi sabilillah, we are expecting greater reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ وَالَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِمَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ وَمَا أُنزِلَ مِن قَبْلِكَ وَبِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُؤْمِنُونَ. Those who believe in what has been revealed to you and what was revealed before you. وَبِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُؤْمِنُونَ. Believe in the Akhirah. Some ulama said this ayah particularly talks about the people of the book who believe in Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So they believe in what has been revealed to Musa or Isa, they are following it, and when Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam came, they also believed in him. Quran talked about that أولئك يؤتون أجرهم مرتين بما صبروا. Right? And the Prophet ﷺ mentioned them that they'll get double reward for following the teaching of Musa, and then they followed the teaching of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And other ulama said this ayah is relevant to all believers, because we have to believe in what was revealed to the Prophet and what was revealed to those who came before. We believe that the Quran, the Injil, and the Zabur, and all other books that Allah has revealed before. وَبِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُؤْمِنُونَ. Akhirah is part of life, but Quran mentioned Akhirah in particular because Arabs, as you know, they deny life after death because there's no scientific evidence. Again, you cannot prove it. You cannot prove it scientifically in the lab that souls or spirits are stored somewhere, and these spirits will come back in these bodies that became dirt or dust, and then they will come back to life. Quran is full of evidence on this. What we believe in Akhirah, we believe in life after. We believe in life after death. And we believe in heaven. So, bil-Akhirah. Al-Akhirah is always mentioned al-Akhirah because al-Ula is dunya. This life is the first, and the life after is al-Akhirah. Right? Al-Yawm al-Akhir. So, Akhir, in comparison to the dunya we have here. وَبِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُوقِنُونَ. We believe in life after death. We believe death is not the end. Death is the beginning of a new life. Finish our term here, we start a new term that's called al-Akhirah. It begins with death. Then the barzakh, the hayat al-barzakh between this life and this life. Life after this life. Then we call al-barzakh. وَمِنْ وَرَائِهِمْ بَرْزَخٌ إِلَى يَوْمِ يُبْعَثُونَ. So hayat al-barzakh is a life between these two lives, this dunya and akhirah. أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون. Those who believe in the light, perform prayer, spend from what Allah has given them, those who believe in the revelation of the Quran and the revelation that came before the Quran, and we believe in the Akhirah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أُولَٰئِكَ عَلَىٰ هُدًى مِّن رَّبِّهِمْ, following the guidance of Allah, وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ, those are the ones who are successful. So alhamdulillah, we live our life based on this hidayah, and we hope and pray that inshallah we'll be among the muflihin. أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون. Surah Al-Mu'minun begins with قد أفلح المؤمنون. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in many different places in the Quran talk about the qualities or the characteristics of the believers, and this is one of them. Iman bil ghayb, Iqamat as-salat, spending, believing in all the revelations, and believing in life after, and Allah promised those who do all these things are guided by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they are successful. هدى على هدى من ربهم قل هذه سبيلي أدعو إلى الله على بصيرة أنا ومن اتبعني. So this is very important for us as Muslims, that we have a point of reference. The difference between us and others is that others are following their own desires and wills. And there are so many philosophies that talks about how to live our life. Should we fulfill all our desires, and others, deprivation is the way to go. Some sort of deprivation. Others, believe in absolute freedom. There's so many schools of thought and philosophies. For us as Muslims, we are following divine guidance. That's the difference. We live our life based on this divine guidance. أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us among them. We'll stop here and inshallah we'll continue next time from ayah number 6 in Surah al-Baqara. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. If you have any comment or question, we'll be happy to.
In the first ayah, it says, هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. So this Quran is Huda only for Muttaqin, or in the Quran it also says Huda lin-nas. So what is the difference between these two?
Alright, so that's a good question. Is the Quran Huda lin-nas or Huda lil-muttaqin? So there are two kinds of hidayah. Hidayah al-amma, general guidance, and specific guidance. So Quran came as guidance to all mankind because the guidance is there. Okay, so it's available, accessible to everyone, and whoever wants to follow it should follow it, and those who decide not to follow it make their choice. But الهداية الخاصة that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said وَالَّذِينَ اهْتَدَوْا زَادَهُمْ هُدًى, those who chose to follow the truth, Allah will give them even more guidance. See the point? وَالَّذِينَ اهْتَدَوْا زَادَهُمْ هُدًى وَأَتَاهُمْ تَقْوَاهُمْ. So we always ask Allah, اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. We need more guidance, that's specific guidance. So the general guidance is there. It's like when you teach a class and you have a textbook, the answer is there, but if someone asks a question or need more, you see a serious student who want to read more or write on a paper, then you give them extra guidance as they ask and they care. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised for those who chose to be guided, those who chose to follow the truth, that He would give them extra, special guidance. Allah ta'ala. So yeah, the Quran is Hidayah lin-nas, it's supposed to be Hidayah lin-nas, but as we mentioned last time, these people, they saw it, they knew it from Allah, it's not from Muhammad, but they decided not to follow it. And the Sahaba, on the other hand, they found the truth, they followed it, and Allah gave them strength, gave them an ability to stay in this journey, despite all the challenges.
Imam, assalamu alaikum. So, we have the 5 pillars of Islam, and you explained the ayat that you just covered, or additional guidelines. So how do these two sit next to each other? How do you compare them? Are they complementary to each other, or are they additional, different?
All right, so the 5 pillars of Islam are the 5 practical aspects. It has to do with practice. The 6 articles of faith, they have to do with belief. So belief and practice. Amanu wa salihat. Al-Iman, 6 articles of faith. Iman billah wa malaikatihi wa kutubihi wa rusulihi wal yawm al-akhir wal qadar khayrihi wa sharrihi. Hada al-Iman, something in your heart. Right? And as a result of this Iman, you are required to do, to practice. These 5 pillars are not the only requirement, but the pillars, the main responsibilities as part of the practice. So belief, the Quran talks about belief, Iman bil-ghayb, and he talked about يؤمنون بما أنزل إليك وما أنزل من قبلك، الإيمان بالوحي والكتب، وبالآخرة يؤمنون الإيمان باليوم الآخر. And ذكر أيضا بعض some of the 5 pillars, which is الصلاة والزكاة, right? الصيام was mentioned in some other ayat, Hajj was mentioned in other ayat, but generally the Quran talk about belief and practice. الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات. إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات كانت لهم جنات الجنة. So الإيمان, part of these qualities has to do with the belief, and others have to do with practice.
So if a Muslim wants to reaffirm that he's doing the right things, does he start, or she starts with the pillars, reading them, going through them, making sure that he's and she's doing what is there, and then go to the 6
So it's an article of faith. No,
Articles
it
of
goes the
faith.
other way around.
It's the other way around.
Yeah, because the Prophet ﷺ in Mecca is focusing on La ilaha illallah. Yes, as I said, I don't need from you anything except one word, La ilaha illallah. And then, when people believe in La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, then they need to believe in life after death. Because if you believe in life after death and accountability, then you have to live your life preparing yourself for this day of judgment, right? And then believing in the rest of the 6 articles we said. When the belief comes to the hearts and people love and fear Allah and they prepare for the life after, then you introduce to them the 5 prayers, or 5 daily prayers, and then fasting. So Aisha radiallahu anha noticed that, and she was like hadith in Bukhari, she's very smart, very smart lady. When she said that if the first thing came from the Quran, don't steal, don't commit adultery, people said, oh no, we cannot stop that. It's part of our life, we did it. But the first ayat, ayat al-Makkiyya, revealed in Mecca, talk mainly about belief. Right? Believing in Allah and personal responsibility. The day of judgment, be asked about everything you do. Was watching. Then, when the Iman established in their hearts, then the Ayat al-Ahkam was revealed in Medina. People were ready. Okay? So we believe, and we have to practice. These 5 pillars are the minimum amal that's expected from us. Few other requirements, but these are the pillars of Islam. So, the articles of faith has to do with the belief, and the 5 pillars are part of that practice in Islam.
So this is a big change because, as an average Muslim, we think that the pillars are the basic, and non-Muslims and Muslims, they always think of the 5 pillars of Islam, and it's surprising that there's not much mention about the 6th article of Iman.
Well,
why is that? I guess.
Well, they are there in the Quran, and perhaps Muslims, I think my observation is that Muslims are more likely to think of Islamic law than Islamic theology, although Islamic theology is more important, because everything comes from the belief. And you believe in Allah, then you follow His guidance. If you don't believe, no point to pray or fast. Like in Muslimin, we are more legal oriented than belief oriented. Right? If you have a lecture in fiqh, everybody would love to come and listen about fiqh. Right? When you say a scholar, the first thing comes to mind, he knows fiqh, right? Although fiqh is one branch, Islamic studies, Islamic knowledge, Islamic theology or العقيدة أهم طبعا. يعني إذا سألت يعني لذلك إحنا قلنا إنه if someone is a believer but not practicing, he maybe Allah will forgive him. You never know, right? But it doesn't work the other way around. If someone is honest and sincere and good, but he doesn't believe in anything, all these good deeds will not count. So, but we as Muslims, because we have been brought up that you have to watch what you eat, how to make wudu. If you don't do this, you'll be thrown in the hellfire. You cannot eat this, you cannot drink this. All these, we are more consumed by law. The Prophet in Mecca was not teaching all these 50 things, just focusing on building Iman. Then when Iman became strong in their hearts, then the ayat of do's and don'ts came later on. But ask any Imam, how many questions you receive related to fiqh and how many questions you receive related to faith? I'm telling you from experience, most of the time questions have to do with fiqh. We're obsessed with fiqh and law.
So where do you put the, someone say the blame, but how it is going wrong over tens of years, hundreds of years in our educational system, in the media, now there's media, but when we grew up in schools, the educators themselves, obviously, they are missing the point. In all Arabic countries, I guess.
My interpretation is because fiqh has to do with the daily practice. Every day we need to know what's halal, what's haram, and banks, and credit cards, and buying cars, or buying homes, that halal and dabiha, all these things are needed on a daily basis. Right? That's why people always ask about fiqh issues. But faith and iman, people think that, alhamdulillah, we're done, we believe in Allah and the life after, that's enough. And this may also explain this imbalance. It may explain that so many people who are practicing Muslims, God and God, but are very dishonest. Very dishonest. You know, that one week and they look like, mashallah, like coming from 7th century, the Sahaba, but just have some business with them. The last people we want to deal with. So, yes, there's imbalance that we need to think about this and how can we. That's why when I designed the program for the youth, I started with faith. We have to talk about Allah. Who is Allah? Why we worship Him? Because everything comes out of this. Right? The more we know Allah, the more we love Him. So the ibadah becomes natural. When you love Him so much, when you are have great respect to Him, then you do what we are supposed to do. We're just worshiping Him becomes natural.
But is this your, I wouldn't say point of view, but this is your teaching? And is that the same with other imams, or they are different, they have different approach? I mean, what you're saying makes sense, and it should be the standard with all the imams who are supposed to be ulama, who know the deen, who are supposed to teach others.
Well, as you know, everyone has his own understanding and his own school that he came from. So those who focus so much on law, they focus on law. And those who graduate from Usul al-Din, for example, those who study Aqidah, perhaps they focus on Aqidah. But just looking at the example of the Prophet, that's how it works. Iman first, and then law come after. What I'm saying is that we need to have some sort of balance. We need to have balance. We need both. I'm not saying we need one, not the other. We need both. And when we read the Quran, we can see this balance. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام. يا أيها الذين آمنوا refer to us as believers first. We must fast. That's practice. So you see this balance between belief and practice. قد سمع الله قول التي تجادلك في زوجها وتشتكي الله يسمع تحاوركما إن الله سميع بصير. It's an instant. Talk about Islamic ruling about al-Baqara. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the fact that He's Sami' and Basir. That's aqidah, that's faith. Allah says, talk about the law, and then وَعْلَمُوا أَنَّ اللَّهَ يَعْلَمُ مَا فِي أَنفُسِكُمْ فَاحْذَرُوهُ. Know that Allah knows what's in your heart, so be aware of Him. Know that Allah is Ghafur Halim. So we have law and faith reminding us, فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّ اللَّهَ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ خَبِيرٌ. So Islamic law is not disconnected from Islamic faith, and I would add, and not disconnected from Islamic ethics. And when we separate these three from each other, then it loses its value. So the law becomes like any other law. It's not a divine law. And ethics become like any other ethical system. But you would be surprised how Islam, or Quran in particular, embraces all these things in a very good balance. Believe Allah is Sami' Basir, because if Allah gives us the law, that's perfect. And we don't have Iman, we can manipulate the law. We can go around, right? We can do that. People are very creative in going around the law.
Very creative, yes.
It is our belief, it's our faith that prevents us from doing that. Right? So that's why Ayat al-Ahkam, Ayat al-Talaq, for example, divorce. Quran talk about divorce, but also talk about taqwa. And remember that one day we'll be returned to Allah. So this balance must be there. Yes.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يقول الله سبحانه وتعالى في محكم آياته إنما يعلوك عن سيدنا إبراهيم خليل الله قال رب أرني كيف تحيي الموتى قال أولم تؤمن قال بلى ولكن ليطمئن قلبي. I know that the belief is there is a gradation. There is Iman, Taqwa, and Ihsan. My question is, where is the اطمئنان القلب? Is it above Ihsan? This is the first question. The second question is, did Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, did it reach this step of اطمئنان القلب? And without اطمئنان القلب, can evil play with us? And how can we overcome without اطمئنان القلب?
أحسنت بارك الله فيك. This ayah in Surah al-Baqara, Ibrahim alayhi salam, قال إبراهيم ربي أرني كيف تحيي الموتى. So Allah said, أولم تؤمن? Aren't you a believer? He said, بلى, I'm a believer, ولكن يطمئن قلبي. And then the ayat goes on, and Allah told him how to do that, and he saw this bird that he killed coming back to him alive. So what was he asking for? Some two opinions. One is that the Mufassirin, they said that he had no doubt that Allah gives life after death, but he wanted to see how. He said, كيف تحيي الموتى? أرني كيف. He did not ask for evidence that Allah gives life to dead body, but he said, I want to know how to see how does this happen. And when Allah asked him, أولم تؤمن قال بلى, no, I'm a believer, ولكن what I want to reach to this level of اطمئنان. Others said, well, he did not see this, he believed in it, but he wanted to have either higher level of yaqeen, because yaqeen, as the ulama said, are different levels. And they gave example, for example, if one of us just left the masjid and someone met him outside and saw that the Imam said, yes, the Imam is inside. So this gives him some sort of yaqeen, right? The Imam is inside, yeah, I saw him inside. Okay. So when he comes and he hears my voice speaking, his yaqeen will increase, right? And when he walks in and sits down with us and sees me speaking, then he has a high level of yaqeen, right? No doubt. Ibrahim wanted to reach this level. It's like Musa alayhi salam asking Allah, Ya Allah, you are talking to me, let me see you. Because the believers always want to get more. That's the beauty of it. So, there's Islam, Iman, and Ihsan, and what's even beyond Ihsan. There's ilm al-yaqeen, wa haqq al-yaqeen, wa ayn al-yaqeen. So Ibrahim wants to get more, like Musa, that's natural. Allah's talking to him, says, قال رب أرني أنظر إليك, I want to see you. قال لن تراني ولكن انظر إلى الجبل والسماوات. نفس الشيء والله أعلم Ibrahim, it's not about doubt, it's about want to see more, want to have to reach the ayn al-yaqeen. Like Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he went to the seventh heaven, he saw hell and heaven, and some believe that he saw Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I support this opinion. That's Abdullah ibn Abbas' opinion and others. Muhammad is not like any other person or any other prophet. He was brought up to a place even Jibreel could not go to. He was brought to a place so near from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And there's no surprise if this never happened to anybody, including Jibreel. There's no surprise that he saw Allah talk to him subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I believe that it is want to get more. Whatever level you are in, you want to get more until you reach ayn al-yaqeen. That's why the mu'mineen in Jannah will be able to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala according to the majority of Muslim scholars. That will be the best enjoyment we have in Jannah. That Allah will remove the hijab and we will be able to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And nothing is more enjoyable than this. Wallahu a'lam. Comments? Questions?
Comment about action, Iman, and Islam. Actually, we cannot separate between these two because by Iman you believe in Prophet ﷺ, and if you believe in Prophet ﷺ, you are supposed to follow his Sunnah, right? And Sunnah are actions. So you cannot separate these two, actually, right?
Well, what would you say about those who are not following the Sunnah? What they believe and love the Prophet and are willing to die to protect the dignity of the Prophet? What would you say about that? For believers? Okay, ulama differentiated between two things. When someone, for example, does not pray, they said, if he does not pray because he denies that prayer is part of Islam, then he's kafir altogether.
Yeah.
All scholars agree. But if he does not pray out of laziness, I'm busy, I'm tired, and this and that, but he believes he should pray. He never denied that Salah is one of the pillars of Islam, but he's lazy. That's the debate was about. But if he denies, no, there's no requirement, such requirement of that is out of Islam. So yes, people believe in Allah and they don't worship Him, but they are believers. If you ask him what was your Lord, so Allah. Believe in Allah, yes. Believe in life after, yes. Why don't you pray? Don't you know that this kind of the punishment of this would be severe? Yeah, I know. Just pray for me. I know I'm weak. I know shortcoming. And inshallah, one day, maybe Allah will guide me. They regret that. Imam Muhammad al-Ghazali, Wallahi, Sheikh Muhammad al-Ghazali, not Abu Hamid al-Ghazali, Sheikh Muhammad al-Ghazali, great Egyptian scholar. I really highly encourage you to read his books. He said that he saw a man in the neighborhood known of being alcoholic. And he said, I saw him once. And everybody knows that he gets drunk and comes back home and people see him in the street. He said, Ya Fulan, isn't it time to stop this? And he said, Wallahi, he cried. He said, I saw tears coming out of his tears. He said, please pray for me. I'll give you another example. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when khamr was prohibited, it's prohibited. Allah, and that's the ayat came.
Yeah.
Some of the Sahaba, imagine, they drink every day. Drinking alcohol for them is like drinking water. It's part of the daily routine. And they believed. And they were drinking. Some of the Sahaba were drunk. Our Spanish narrations, because before it was clearly put. So they brought this man, Sahabi, drunk, and they punished him. Okay. And then another day he was caught drunk and he was brought to the Prophet and said, I mean, just beat him. It was no particular uquba for Shab al-Khamr until the time of Umar radiallahu anhu, Imam Ali listed 80 lashes anyways. But people just, beat him to humiliate him so that when he wakes up, he knows he did something wrong. And the third time he was brought, someone cursed him, said, La'anatullahi alayhi. May Allah curse him. Being brought many times, right? And the Prophet said, don't do that. Because I know he loves Allah and His Messenger. That's a testimony from the Prophet. The Prophet said, I know for sure that he loves Allah and His Messenger. But he could not quit. He's trying, he's not happy, but he could not quit. Right? So he loves Allah and His Messenger, but he's committing a sin. Right? So we cannot say that he's not a believer.
So in
the Surah Al-Mu'minun, Allah said, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. That means believers are, they are the people who pray Salah. But successful believers are, their Salah has khushu in, right? So that belief and Salah is there is inseparable, right?
Okay, so I'll use Imam Shafi'i's argument. So if someone does not pray, we judge him as a non-Muslim, non-believer. The problem is that we always think that, as our brother here was talking about, all people must be in the same level. It does not work this way. People are not in the same level. Islam, and there are levels within Islam. Okay, it's like from first grade to 9th grade, and then there's Iman from 9th to 12th grade, and then Ihsan at college. Where would all Muslims in one grade? That does not make any sense. Quran is talking about the high level believers. But some people came to Islam and they said they are believers, and the Quran says, no, don't say you are believers, say you are Muslims. But you did not reach the level of Iman. So, Islam is the threshold. That's the minimum acceptance. La ilaha illallah, 5 pillars. If we do this, you are Muslim. We treat you as Muslim. Rasulullah said we don't open up the hearts of the people to find out if they are sincere or not. If someone says the Shahada, we treat him or her as Muslims. Khalas, end of story. But when you enter the gate, then there are so many levels that you are encouraged to move from this level to that level, from this to that, from this to that. So Allah talked about high level believers, encouraging us to try to increase our iman to go from one level to a higher level, from one level to a higher level. Called maqamat and ahwal. So this is a journey that we are all supposed to go. But when you are in the 12th grade, don't look down at those who are in the first grade. Alhamdulillah, they are there. Maybe tomorrow their iman will get stronger. But we cannot imagine that all Muslims are supposed to be in one place. Even within the Sahaba, not all of them on the same level. They were not all the same level. هم درجات عند الله. Abu Bakr, Umar, and Ali were not like those who came the day of Fatih and Rasulullah said, okay, or Tulaqat. Those who came to Islam when Islam became so powerful and stronger. That's expected, that's easy. Everybody wants to be the winner side. But those who sacrificed when Islam was a great liability are not equal, they are not on the same level. السابقون الأولون من المهاجرين والأنصار والذين اتبعوهم بإحسان رضي الله عنهم. السابقون الأولون are not like those who came later, even within the life of the Prophet. So you talk about different levels. And there are some muhsineen. These muhsineen, those who really live by Allah, for Allah, with Allah. We are not even there. We are not even there. So we cannot judge people based on the highest standard. People are at different levels. And also like to deal with the newcomers of Islam differently from those who have been in Islam for so long. Make things easy on them. Someone said, I will pray only 2 times. And the Prophet accepted this and said, okay, just come to Islam. 2 times. So he said, come, accept it. People of Allah, he said, we are willing to come to Islam, but we have 2 conditions. No zakah, no jihad. I said, yes, okay. He took political allegiance and accepted this one. Sahaba said, Ya Rasulullah, no zakah, no jihad. He said, tomorrow they will give zakah and they will participate in jihad. They need some time. They need tarbiyah. Tarbiyah and tazkiyah. It's an ongoing process to go from one level to another. This is what we need to be aware of, we need to understand. Always, when it comes to deen, look at those who are above you. Don't look at those who are lower than you. And when it comes to dunya, don't look at those who are above you. Always look at those below you. That makes sense? سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام